Before the mid 20th century or so, death really wasn't defined beyond someone stopped breathing, they stopped moving, their heart stopped beating, because it wasn't necessary to have a more sophisticated definition. With the advent of machines that can sort of ventilators, things that can breathe for people during surgery, and particularly with the advent of things like cardiopulmonary bypass machines that can keep people's blood circulating even when their heart has stopped, doctors realized they'd need to develop a more sophisticated view than just someone stopped breathing or their heart stopped beating. So particularly, I think in the 1970s and the 1980s, most places shifted to a definition of death that was more focused on the loss of all brain functions. So I think the typical definition in most jurisdictions around the world will be based on irreversible cessation of all brain functions. Now, the issue with that definition is increasingly we have better and better neural implant technology and brain-computer interfaces and those sorts of things, which are doing for brain functions what happened for heart and lung functions in the 20th century, which is that all these things that used to be reversible will slowly become more reversible. So somebody will have a stroke, which will destroy a little bit of brain tissue somewhere, and we'll be able to restore those functions. Somebody will have a spinal cord injury, and we'll be able to restore those functions. Now, modern technology to do that is very primitive, and I go through some examples of what we're getting to work, but we're a long way from finished with that. But if you look at where the technology is going, it looks like that will become easier and easier. So then, in the long run, you have to ask yourself, if you can reverse all of these damaged and destroyed brain functions, what should a definition of death be? Like, where is the person irreversibly lost? And what I argue for in the book, and what some other philosophers and bioethicists have argued before, is a definition based around the loss of personal identity. So that is to say that a person dies when all the core things that make them, their personality, their memories, their beliefs and goals and desires, when it's those things that are lost. And because to a large degree, those things are encoded in the structures of people's brains, it's when those memories and personalities, those brain structures are irreversibly destroyed, that I think should be the correct definition of death.